Greetings everyone, and right here with another Advanced Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the blue Snowind, we got Benchwarmer2. On the north side as the green Penny, we got Frozen. When it comes to the COs, Penny is slightly buffed from the cartridge counterpart, 50%, 3, 30, 60, 60, so pretty much all standard there. She gets plus 15 rather than plus 10 plus 10. Of course, all units inside and outside the CO zone are unaffected by weather, making her she's like the only CO that has a global benefit of that sort, which is relatively minor since random weather is generally or entirely turned off in games. But of course, it does mix with her superpower, which also adds weather for 3 turns of a single weather type. Some people mentioned beforehand that they actually do like having snow cast on the map. I think it's a bit more situational. Sand provides minus 30% firepower, snow reduces all movement speed by 1, and rain creates fog of war and reduces vision range down to minimal of 1. Properties have 0. So you can make your opponent blind, slow, or weak, if that makes any sense. One target the eyes, one target hands, one targets the legs. Either way, when it comes to Snowind, Snowind is a custom CO. It has a standard border and cost, 1 CO zone, very small, 30, 60, 60. And there's quite a bit here. But simply put, unloaded units in CO zone get plus 1 HP recovery, similar to Calder, gets plus 30%, similar to Calder. So she's effectively a weaker Calder, but still very good. And of course, much smaller CO zone. Additionally, she's able to forward deploy a infantry or mech from any base. So effectively, I consider it like the paratrooper specialist, if that makes any sort of sense. Of course, here there's some limits of where it can be placed. Basically, put open ground that's valid terrain. Let's simply put it that. She does have both a CO power and a super CO power. Both cost 60, so choose one. Let's see. All unloading it gets plus 1 HP recovery for ammo and fuel, plus 30 global, and launch is a 3 ranged missiles. Do note silos are 2 ranged missiles, so a very large missile that does 5 damage. And it is the greatest accumulation of value. And or she's able to forward deploy any unit as a possibility as well. So one will break up a group, other one allows us to get a nice forward little army going. Out the way, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn on autoplay. This is a triple base map with all 3 bases or factories immediately built. There's also a pair of airports on the map. And the no production symbol you can see here, that's just an indication that, oh, you can't forward deploy from that base anymore. It will happen anytime you see infantry or mech, it goes away at the start of turn, so nothing too significant. It's just a way to, so you don't constantly build a lot of infantry units from a single base because it's nothing on top of it. It's more of a mechanical, how to put it, more, you can see there's the forward deployed there. It's more of a mechanical way of implementing abilities rather than trying to, how to put it, yeah, just apply mechanical debuff to the structure so it doesn't build out more than 1 unit. This map does offer a couple seaports. There are no shores blocking this one, so ships can move full moon. There is a shore there, so deploy out a temporary seaport would allow traversal down here of a battleship, but that is, of course, going for a battleship, and B, and also rig to go along with it to actually build the seaport. Penny has been loaded up into a bike there. Probably Penny's in the sidecar, while Mr. Bear is actually driving it. How Bear drives it, I don't know. But thanks to Snowwind's forward deployment, she has a nice little bowl of infantry already here. Does go for an artillery piece. Tank now pulling field by Penny. Artillery piece pushing forward. I don't know why sometimes it's silent. But it was. We do now tank now pull in the field. It always feels like sometimes the first sound effect being used just becomes silent. I have no idea. It may be some sort of anti-cheat measure. I have no idea. We can do now tank the float out here. He's able to apply pressure over here. Pod's gonna be a counter tank here. Tank does get a strike on the meteor, slowly whittling it down. Gets a strike on the command infantry. Taking out the command infantry is not a big problem. She paid very little for this command infantry, but did take a series of losses over here in engagement. But the +1 healing is important. I can go back down and merge there. And does bring the tank in the center of the map. Mech deployed in the front line because there's a tank there. Very nice. Snowind may be one of the best COs to utilize mechs because she's able to forward deploy them. Drop them in. I'm also going to rather use the autoplay and just start doing the turns manually. We have a Penny battlecopter in the field. Very nice. Overall, feels like Penny's in a good position right now. They have equal income. This artillery piece is in the middle of the map. Penny does pull back the command bike, only has a little bit of damage onto it. Battlecopter charges his way forward. And now think about my comment about, oh, it's anti-cheat. There's no fog of war here, so you don't really need that sort of thing. Pulls back that unit there, gets another property. Property over here, anti-air push way forward. There are no con powers this map. Recon moving along the flank, very nice. Battlecopter strikes the recon there. And there's the meteorite in the way, he can't reach with the anti-air. Even with the meteorite right now there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so wouldn't be able to range it either way. Penny does pull back here, has the artillery support as well. Another artillery piece now pulling the field. Does have 17 energy at the moment. Max pushing the way forward, artillery piece as well. Losing the CO unit is not going to be a massive issue at the moment. After all, she paid quite minimum value for it. And primary usage was the forward deployment of the infantry, so losing it won't be a critical issue. Would be nice for the CO power, but not absolutely critical. $35 energy for Mr. Bear. Ready to change the weather. I see all three sorts of sources of weather wouldn't be half bad. Snow just slowly advance, allowing her to move around a little bit easier. Sandstorm minus 30% firepower, so straight up and generally pretty good. And the reduction and the vision blinding opponent, of course, came quite nice. Does sack a unit there. Takes out Mr. Bear. And some great strikes out, 39 energy, 44. That infantry unit's trapped, but can get on top of the mountain. Probably be best if it does. Extra defense with propellant going down, but the energy, the command unit may actually go down here. We've got the artillery piece in range. Anti-air could be hit by the tank, but it's a 5 health tank. Battlecopter tank and a forward deploy something, probably a mech. Command infantry unit there. Quickly just charges forward to trying to get the +15/+10 for cheap. And always delete this unit later if you want to see CO unit gone. Good strike there. And finish off the command infantry squad. I think that +15/+15 is exactly what he needed. Tank gets a good strike on the tank rather than take out the anti-air. Maybe better to get a strike on the anti-air. I suppose another anti-air already pushing way forward, so Battlecopter wouldn't have free reign. Does get 25 energy, and It is a 3 radius CO zone, so it's pretty easy to charge up the ability. Mr. Bear's power can come in quite often with that extra radius, and plus it lasts for 3 turns, so that could be a barrage of weather. Apparently people saying like, oh, Penny's actually much better than people thought. The plus, that seriously doesn't do no damage. It only did 8%. I think when it comes to Penny's CO power on the cartridge, it didn't seem attractive enough. The CO zone seemed pretty weak, and I don't think they ever explained how many turns of weather, because maybe people thought it was just 1 turn of weather like Olaf or Drake's. Great shots there. CO zone's at 45 energy, and due to with a +1 CO zone, it has quite a bit of coverage right now. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. Of course, I got a command battlecopter now. Rotating off the left side, gets a strike there. Finish off the infantry unit, small victory. I get to multiple profit center, 21,000 versus 20,000, so the difference is not too significant, even though Snowind has all the central properties, still got some despicable neutral properties here that Snowind has not claimed. Plus, she's overall... Now, there's a tank here for Penny. Battle can help provide some fire support, but I think that's why this anti-air is here, just provide some anti-air coverage. Replace some of the properties to get a little bit extra healing going. Nope, not like Penny will not be able to deploy out her superpower this turn. She can only get 10 points of damage at most and needs 15, but she will get some good charge. Artillery P6 of the meteorite. The command unit may be a bit exposed. Be hit by the battlecopter. This tank won't be out of range. A re-health tank could. Possible. The anti-air can hit it. So I think maybe a bit of a misplay there. I think the command unit is too exposed. And 3 turns of weather is actually very powerful. 3 turns where you have a substantial bonus. After all, if you imagine, like, say, Sandstorm, making your opponent have 30% less firepower, that's basically having 30% more firepower in as a global bonus for 3 turns. But decides not to snipe the command unit. Looks like we'll could possibly get the CO power this turn. See 2 infantry units and that could be attacked from the radius. But doing, yeah, possible. Possible CO power by Penny this turn. Needs 5 more energy, that's very likely. Pop the CO power, it's just an infantry unit. Rain. Now Snowind is blind. All of her units have 1 vision range and she does not have a flare on the field. This is quite bad for Snowind. I think actually Rain in a non-Fog War game is actually really good because you rarely ever see a flare. Flares are disturbingly high firepower, but still you don't see them all too often. So Penny has a great opportunity here. 3 turns where she can advance a bit more aggressively. Because look at right now, none of these units here are diagonal, so Snowind will have to scout everything out. Even the recon only has 1 vision range. Look how poor her vision is. This recon, polished, it's 6 health recon. The infantry unit could try charging forward, trying to get some scouting off done. But I think the recon and the infantry unit should actually have the infantry unit. Trying to identify there. Okay, there's the infantry unit. Spots there. Takes the battle copter. Recon does do a pass. Mech gets a good strike there. May as well, that's also plus 15 global. Makes some good headway over here. There is a tank and battle copter there. And not sure how much this player was paying attention to what Snowind or Penny had before it turned and exactly where. Because that anti-air is in range of the tank. Paul does not realize it, of course. And taking out the anti-air and then the battle copter free reign. Penny has 2 more turns of reign, so she has a lot more capabilities. Scouts, mech on mountain. Anti-air comes for a nice little recon pass. The command copter is out of vision range. Already gets 23 energy. Strikes the mech. Strikes the anti-air. Already at 36 energy. She almost has enough for another superpower available. Takes on the battlecopter there, because oh yeah, the battlecopter, even though was in fog of war, areas can't really hide from can't hide on properties or hide on hide tiles. Four energy at the moment. The command copter is at 6 health, which is plenty to work with. Mech gets sacked there. Artillery gets a good strike. Finish off there. Anti-air may charge forward, or battlecopter is going to hit the tank, and the anti-air hits the battlecopter. Or nope, other battlecopter hits it. No energy charge from that one. Mr. Barris already has 49 energy for another superpower. Four deploys a mech, tank, battlecopter, and infantry on the flank. Looks like Snowwind's just being defensive, has no vision up here. And, well, with our vision, we know that there's not much there. We could see another superpower this turn. I don't know if it would be a good idea to pop it early or what. Pulse global 15-15 wouldn't be half bad. Superpowers available. Let's see if she pops it, and now here comes Sandstorm. No more fog of war, but now Snowind has 30% less firepower. You can see here, battlecopter minus 30% attack. And this is 3 turns of having 30% more firepower. That's basically a CO zone global. Series of strikes there, but that plus 15% defense global is actually very useful versus minus 30% attack. That's a 45% power difference. Couldn't even take out a single anti-air. Meteorite has 4 health remaining. She does have a slight economic advantage, and right now on the field, she does have 115 versus 104, so it's turn-to-turn difference. But Penny's in a better position. Does not push forward the command infantry unit there to get some CO power. Does now. Penny has a pretty powerful spearhead going. And Penny could just beat defense over here. Just have line infantry, artillery versus line infantry and artillery. Creeps way forward a little bit. battlecopter bike anti-air. Now there's still no longer the plus 15% defense global, but she still has minus 30% firepower. Tank takes out that meteorite. Mr. Bear is at +1 CO zone now. Get some good strikes there. Not great strikes though, because that minus 30% firepower really hampering her. Did forward deploy here already. Battlecopter anti-air and infantry. I wonder if it was a good idea. Would have been a good idea to go for anti-tank here. A lot of good strikes there. There's another CO powers available. Capture the property. A lot of good damage on those battlecopters. Snowind has 1, 2, 3 health battlecopters right there. It'll be 1, 3, 4 next turn. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. Let's see, starts with turn 78 versus 119. She can't do anything during the sandstorm. Good strike there. If Snowind gets her power here, launching that missile here would be quite deadly. 46 entry has +1 CO zone. Forward deploys a mech. Tank, battlecopter. Another infantry there. Really needs to keep that anti-air alive, but I think nothing to break through this battlecopter. Some items to take out the tank, but here comes another superpower. Just pull back the infantry and launch it. Didn't do it this time. Is she really going to try to save it? Takes that one out. 4 health. Does take up the command unit. Does pop global power and rain. Rain? A lot of units are already adjacent to each other, so it's not a huge issue at this exact moment. Rain may be the worst of the 3 weathers right now. But still be quite issuing. Another round of sandstorm probably would have been best for her. Battlecopter, anti-air, bike, and infantry. Spots the battlecopter there. Gets the battlecopter, gets a good strike there. Gets trapped. Another command battlecopter. Really gets a good strike there. Too bad I didn't have vision of that artillery piece there, because artillery on artillery could have been good. Making some decent headway. Able to find a good number of engagements there. Even the wounded battlecopter's getting some good work. Anti-air there will probably take up the command battlecopter. Tank, bike. Right now, it's only behind by 1 property and income, which is not too bad. Takes out the command copter once again. Probably needs to get a command tank next turn. We go for command bike, but the CO zone is pretty small. Her command unit itself must be a fighter, so probably command tank. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. There's strike there. No sealed loaded tank down here. There's strike there. Does not take the battle copter. Wounded the anti-airs. No command tank. Oh wait, there's actually a command infantry unit there. I did not see that. That would allow. Oh wait, I just realized command infantry unit here would allow her to forward deploy some mechs. But there's already a lot there, though. This tank can get a good strike on that tank. But would potentially be out of vision range, so maybe forward deploying something to spot it then. Mr. Bear almost has another superpower ready. Snowwind's at 49,000 versus 112. She's fallen severely behind. Good strike there. Does get trapped. Finish off that one health infantry unit there. Forward deploy infantry, tank. And rain has subsided, and here comes the next superpower, Sandstorm, and I think this will put the nail in the coffin. Tank. 40,000 in the field versus 112. Don't think it's much Snowind can do. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on autoplay. That has much left in the center of the map as well. Just pretty much infantry. Missile, and that's probably, yep, and resigns. This is Grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.